Peace, 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 fam. Peace, everybody. Peace, peace. Desiree D. Ray Wise back. It has been a while since I've done a video, maybe about 3 weeks. That seems like some time. But this time has been so needed, wonderful, amazing, beautiful, all the things. And I am super excited to share with y'all all the nuggets, all the gifts of this time. Okay. So we're going to be talking about when Mayat speaks. Now, let me see. Y'all let me know if my internet is jumpy or something. If you're coming in, say hey, say what's up, but also let me know if my internet is jumpy. Because if it is, then I need to figure that out. Peace to everybody that is coming in, that is here. Hello, hello. Let me know if the internet is jumpy, y'all, because I wanted to kind of flow. Yes, peace. I am infinite being. How are you, brother? Peace, peace. Okay, y'all. So we got to talk about when Mayat speaks. Okay. How we listen, why we must listen, all of the things that the goddess Mayat really embodies. Okay. Also, y'all, a part of why I've been out is y'all know I coach volleyball. And so I've been doing a lot more talking over the past 2 months and just leading and things like that. And it's been great. But y'all, it will create you to have a somewhat hoarse voice. So please excuse me if y'all can't hear me all the way. My voice is a little bit raspy. Okay. But I know if you can pick up what I'm putting down, you're going to be good. Okay. So please, y'all let me know what it's looking like and what it's sounding like. And then we got to go ahead and get into the goddess Mayat. While y'all are doing that, listen, so much amazing stuff has been happening over this past few weeks, right? A lot of revelation, a lot of growth, a lot of fun, a lot of insight, a lot of evolution. And yesterday, all of this work kind of came to a beautiful, full-bodied realization. Okay. When I ran into this beautiful feather. When this beautiful feather was laid on my path, that's when I felt like, okay, we've been doing the work is paying off, we are being supported, protected, aligned, all the things. When I saw this beautiful feather, okay? Now, mind y'all, I'm still trying to fully figure out and identify the animal this feather belongs to. I read that it could be like an owl feather, or it could be some sort of falcon or eagle or something like that. A bird of prey, right? A bird of prey for sure, right? A big bird, okay, or a decent sized bird, right? Came across this and I was just like, okay, Spirit, I see you, right? And then, when I brought it home, actually, when I picked it up, I thought about the goddess Mayat. And then when I brought it home, that was the first thing Dream said, right? First thing Dream said was, oh, goddess Mayat, what's up? And mind y'all, I have had a somewhat extensive relationship with the goddess Mayat for many, many years. Many, many years. And that's the thing that happens on our spiritual path, right? We end up connecting to a certain energy, and then time passes, and then we shift into a different frequency, and then time passes and we shift into a different frequency. We go through on our paths, we go through these shifts. We go through these levels, right? We go through these ebbs and flows of our existence. And that energy within itself is the idea of Mayat, okay? But that is also just the proof that, all of your life experiences connect you directly to something divine. So I went through a phase like this with working with certain energies and concepts about life. The first goddess whose qualities I ever resonated with was the goddess Mayat, right? Because I'm a Libra. Mayat is the scale. She's the balancing act. And on my spiritual path, I always came across feathers. Like feathers was the thing that I came across at the beginning of my spiritual journey. Feathers were my first moments of synchronicity. Okay. And then when Dream and I got together and we started, really vibing together, working together, really going through this initiation into higher wisdom and consciousness, when we started doing that together, so beautiful, wow, is when Dream started making the Ashe cards. But not only that, I got to bring up Dream because Dream is like the Tahuti character or the Tahuti essence or energy or quality or God. Dream is that frequency in his perspective, okay, his creativity, his essence really speaks to a lot of Tahuti energy, which is wisdom, which is knowledge. He's just a well of insight, right? And so Tahuti and Mayat are counterparts. Okay. Tahuti and Mayat are counterparts, right? They go together. And so that was like my first experiences of really vibing with the energy and the essence of the goddess Mayat. But the goddess Mayat was really my own energy anyways. It's I hope y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. Okay. Please let me know if y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. The goddess Mayat was already my energy just based off of time and place of birth, the zodiac, right? That energy is already my nature. Another big part of the goddess Mayat is also the moon. And the god Tahuti is also the moon. And when Dream and I first got together, y'all, he had this really nice apartment. Okay. Dream's apartment, I mean, it was kind of ghetto, but it was nice, right? At the time, it was nice. It's transformed into something that's giving ghetto energy, okay? But at the time, it was very nice. And so his place was where we always linked up at. But something that I love so much about going to his apartment is the view of the moon. Like where his apartment sat, you could, no matter where you were in his apartment, whether you were at the front of the apartment or the back of the apartment, you will see the moon. And so I used to love going to his house on nights where there was a full moon, or even if it was a waning or a waxing moon. I would be at his house and we would sit on the patio and we would chit chat and I would just admire the moon. Which is crazy, not even crazy, right? It just speaks to that divine feminine energy, which is the moon. It speaks to that connection. It speaks to that essence. It speaks to the frequency that I was awakening inside of myself, right? But funny enough, I remember a few years ago that movie about a guy that worshiped the moon or looked into the moon. I remember Yosef was talking about it being, what did he say? Lunatic. I was like, oh, well, I don't know if that necessarily applies to me because I've stared at the moon a many nights. Okay. Anyways, so all of that really speaks to the goddess Mayat, right? Mayat is also matter. Mayat is, as much as Mayat is spirit, Mayat is flesh. As much as she is concept and ideology and energy, right? It's also very physical and very practical and very much so connected to humanity. And all divine beings are. Even when we think about Jesus, right? Very much so in the spiritual, but also very physical. And we know that because the amount of people who still believe and who still hold on to the faith of their Lord and Savior Jesus. Jesus is very much so physical as he is spiritual. Okay. So all the divine beings and even you, right? Even you are so much in the spirit and so much in the body. And so we really got to understand that and embrace that and have balance with that. So Mayat is matter, physical. Mayat is mother, right? Mayat is mother. Because when we think about how there is no greater love than that of a mother, okay? And I know, and fathers too. Fathers aren't a part of that, but it's just something different about mama. The something different about mama is the womb, is the fact that we rest and reside in our mother's womb, right? We are one, literally. Like fragmentation between a mother and her child is, I don't even know what word to use for that. It's a separation of herself. A mother that cannot connect to her children has been dismembered from herself. It's like she's had to chop off her own arm to be disconnected from your child. So it's of high spiritual importance for mothers and children to maintain a healthy relationship. Because mama is just, she's the all. Okay. And that's when I say there's no greater love, is that the mother understands the dark and the light, right? From being pregnant and feeling life grow in your body, and then to being on the precipice, on the cusp of death to deliver that child. No greater love. But it can get confusing when you have to realize what is yours and what is not when it comes down to your child. You know, because a lot of times we personalize what our children are doing because our children are a part of us. But at the end of the day, our children came to have their own path and their own experience. So we have to love them in their experience, no matter what. That's my yacht. So that means loving your child and loving your manifestation. Loving your child, loving your manifestation. So here's what I mean. Loving your child in the sense of when they are doing everything that you've raised them to do, and when they are doing everything that you did not. And when they are doing all the things that trigger you, that frustrate you, that like, you know what I mean. And that can be from the perspective of a mother and the perspective of a father or a husband or a parent, a brother. Being able to love through both sides of their coins. Not just when they are the person, not just when they are the person that really appeases all of your egotistical desires. both. And even loving your manifestation in this way. Let's say you manifested a business. You manifested a business, and at the start of your business, it was hard, wasn't really making a lot of consistent sales, and then you hit a moment where you was rocking it, right? You having $1,000 days, $2,000 days, $10,000 days, $100,000 days, right? $1,000,000 days. You're rocking it. Oh, we love it when it's there. We love it when it's that point where, oh my God, I love this. But when that time come around, you got to pay them taxes, right? Or that time come around where you actually have a slow month, or maybe it was a slow few months, or maybe you're having consistent months, but the amount of your expenses has increased. How do you love your manifestation, your business in both of those spaces? Or when you and your husband are at odds, you're not seeing eye to eye. You're experiencing consistent arguments or infidelity or just not being on the same page or sickness and health, whatever it may be. Can you continue to love? That's mother. That's a sacred mother. A mother's ability to do that is a sacred mother. That doesn't mean that she doesn't have boundaries. That's where Mayat comes. That's where the balance comes. I love my kids like crazy. They do so much. They do so much that creates energy inside of me. And I'll let them push limits. I'll let them stretch a little bit. But also they know I will come through and hey, you got some dark goddess, you got Lilith energy. You got that black mama with that belt coming outside saying, get your ass in this house, right? Oh, you thought you was going to play? Don't want to hear it, okay? Matter of fact, I went to a baby shower this past weekend, and this girl's there. A girl, an associate, right? We were old friends for many, many years. And then just along our time, we just kind of were not on the same page energetically. I was recognizing too much. I was recognizing qualities that I no longer share the same frequency with, right? But when we sit down and talk, I realize that we do have things in common, but it cannot, I can only engage with that energy for maybe an hour tops. I can't engage with it too much because we're going to have too many opposing opinions. And I've just gotten to a point in my life where I don't have to prove anything. And you have certain people who want you to prove your stance, right? And so I'm kind of past that. And so I see her at this baby shower this weekend. The baby shower was beautiful. And it was good to see her. And it was good to see, all of my friends that I grew up with who, again, being where I am on my path, making sure that I still nurture and love the people who've had an impact in shaping who I am today, right? It's the you got to reach down and reach up type thing. And that's not me saying that my friends are above me or I am above them, but I just know that there's a certain wisdom that I've obtained and have been able to embody that really makes the difference in people's lives. And so I have to manage that energy properly. And so do you. And so do you. And so everything's beautiful. And we're talking about parenting. And I don't, people are so interested in my parenting, I guess because I have 4 kids and, it's just interesting. It's just very real. And I'm very honest and I'm very transparent. So when I talk, people really, kind of listen. And so we're talking about parenting and I'm telling them how I have beautiful kids, right? My kids are loved and liked by their teachers, right? They're loved and liked by the people who come around them, right? By the adults that are around my kids. uh, They receive so much love because they are such good kids. They are literally the manifestation of this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine in their own unique way. They're a combination of me and Dream, okay? And it's a very beautiful combination. You can really tell that each of them are made in love, right? Love and war, right? Because, love is a flame, love is a war, love is a battle. And so they're made of something just so unique and special. And so people feel that, right? But then on the opposite side, they have these little qualities where I'm just like, "Arr," you know? And so we're talking about parenting, and I'm telling the other moms, I'm like, my kids are so beautiful, right? I cannot, but boy, when I tell you, sometimes I'm repeating clean that room 3-4 times. Sometimes I'm like, what are we doing? Sometimes I'm like, okay, show me your work on this math. Show me your work on this math. Show me this work on your math, right? And so one of the girls there, she says, the girl, I was talking about, no, girl, you know you a gentle parenter. You know you don't be. So I guess I've just given off the vibe of gentle parenting. Guess it's giving luxury because I'm guess she feeling like I can't get down and dirty, right? Like I can't pull out a belt, okay? I can't beat on ass. This is her projection. Are y'all following me? This is her projection onto me. No, you're a gentle parent, Desiree. Okay. But anybody who knows me knows, right? Anybody who knows me knows I'm a mama. I am my aunt. Period. That reminds me, my friend, my good sis Phyla, her son made a poem about her called Son of a Gun. And it was such a good freaking poem. I shared it on my story on Instagram. If y'all are not following, if y'all are not a part of the tribe on Instagram, y'all definitely should do that. D-Ray_ the healing coach. And when I tell you it was so good, and it was like, what a gift that is for your child to say something so beautiful about you. And though my kids haven't gotten old enough to write a poem, they make cards. They make cards. They do cards real well. So Mayat is the mother, and she's balanced in her love. She understands you got to have it both ways, right? And then the last thing Mayat is manifestation. Because one thing about mothers is that we give life. And not life just to a child. We give life to dreams, to goals, to aspiration, to healing, to luxury, to love, to creativity, to laughter, to food. We give birth to all things. And so I think a lot of times women don't feel like a mother because they haven't bared children yet. Not realizing that you've birthed so many things, because this is what we have to understand. Everything starts in the spirit. Everything. Every manifestation, everything that you see in your physical reality started in the spirit, right? Because if you don't have it now, then it is in the spirit. If you can't see, touch, taste it with your physical 5 senses, it's in the spirit. And so if you've been able to bring something from your imagination, from your heart, from your womb, from your desire, if you've been able to bring something from that space into the physical, you've given birth. That's Mayat. That's the mother. And so this energy is really speaking right now. And I'm just glad to be a channel, a vessel, and, just to be able to relay the message. Okay. So, funny story about Mayat though, y'all. I was already like into my Mayat work. And y'all know I used to work at a high school. I used to work at a high school as a PE teacher. And I remember one day, I don't know what I was doing, but I was walking in the hallway, and the same kind of personality and energy you get right now is who I've always been. Very inquisitive, very interested, and I wanna understand people, places, things, whatever. And so I just so happened to walk past the art classroom. She had her door wide open, and she has pictures of Egyptian gods and goddesses on her projector, right? She's showing them Egyptian statues and hieroglyphs on her projection. Mind you, she's a white lady, awesome lady. Can't remember her. Ooh, she had a great name. Her name was Miss Powers. Her name was Miss Powers. And a part of why I remember her name is because we were both pregnant and having children around the same time. So I had just had Kara. I had already had KJ, who was 2 years old, and she was having children at the same time. We were like pregnant at the same time. We were going on maternity leave at the same time. So we had a connection there. And so she has these Egyptian statues on her projector. And I decided to just stop and listen because I just wanted to understand what was going to be the message. And so she's going down naming the gods and the goddesses. And she gets to one of the pictures, and then she says, "So yeah, we have this guy named Matt here." She points to a figure holding the scales, feather in her head, okay? Feather in her head. Okay, peep the feather that I picked up yesterday. And we talking about my eye is not present? Like what? Okay, listen. And then I come home, same day. Same day I come home, and in our doorstep, Dream and I have crossed over our doorstep, I want to say 2 or 3 times. The third time I crossed over my doorstep, I found a red feather, right? Must be a cardinal or something. But a red feather at our door on the same day. So this energy was not going to let me disregard it, right? Disregard it. So she says, then we got this guy, Matt, here. I was so appalled. I was so appalled and I was so disappointed that she didn't do her research as a teacher on what she was educating. She said, a guy named Matt. And I was like, no, ma'am. And I know y'all probably think that I interrupted her class and corrected her. I did not. I did not. It wasn't necessary. When a part of me feels like I should have, a part of me feels like I should have, but then another part of me is like, well, on one hand, it's like respect the goddess, right? Respect the goddess, get her name right. That's not Matt. It's not a guy. Okay, that's Ma'at. But then another part of me was just like, the people who need to know who Ma'at is will find out who she is, right? Again, to even have that question in my mind is the spirit of Ma'at. Okay. She is balance, justice, harmony, the scales. Look at a Libra. Look at a healthy Libra who has superseded this energy of indecisiveness, who has superseded going back and forth with herself or with themselves, who have made up their mind of what their reality is going to be, and they stick to it. They're grounded. They see both sides of the spectrum, but this is my choice. This is what I'm choosing for my life. Okay? And so, as you can see, the energy of Mayat, the qualities of Mayat, the spirit that is Mayat shows up in all things, in all spaces and places. Period. Okay? And so this energy is really asking us at this point in time to always make the choice to live in love. That's the choice that we have. Moment by moment, day by day. Am I going to choose to live in that hatred, ego, whatever, fear? Biggest one is fear. Am I going to choose to live in that frequency, or am I going to choose to live in Mayat, in love? Recognizing energy is present, but consciously choosing that I don't have to necessarily engage. Let me tell you the gift of this. I told this story. Oh, I told this story to the Patreon family, but I'll tell it again here because it's such a good one. And I truly believe that this is a part of the manifestations that Dream and I have been able to unlock and embody and experience right now. It's this energy. So, y'all know I'm a coordinator at a school that teaches volleyball. And it's such a beautiful place. And I love it. Truly do. It is total purpose work going here. Like, I never have a bad day. That's such a gift. And I've made it my business, y'all. I've made it my business while I'm there to really spread that energy to the people I'm around, kids and adults. And that doesn't mean that I don't have to correct people, right? I do. I have to course correct people, but also course correct myself, right? Because I'm not always right. I'm not perfect. I am in my eye, right? And so in that role, like I said, I have to course correct, tell people what to do, move people around, et cetera, et cetera. And so I had this new young lady, white female, 24 years old. What else? A demographic. She's teaching. She's a teacher right now. First year teacher. Coaches volleyball. Okay. And just giving you some context and color for this specific lady. She's tall, maybe even a little bit taller than me. Yeah, that's her, right? Those are just some qualities, you know. And the first time we worked together, the first 2 times we worked together, I just felt this energy, this a little bit of like uneasiness or just uncomfortability. And it wasn't my own, right? It was like when I would say something to her, like give her a directive, she would make a face like, okay, like, yeah. I remember one time, this was so ghetto. And I'm telling y'all this because I want y'all to recognize the polarity that be showing up and why you got to stay in Mayat. Because when you were in Mayat, you receive the blessings. So I remember this one time, it was her first day shadowing, her first day shadowing me and other coaches. And that same day we were having a team meeting. And the team meeting was after hours though. Mind you, at this point, I don't believe she was fully hired on. And so we've ended the day. We're about to have our team meeting. And I simply asked her, "Oh, are you staying for the team meeting?" Genuinely curious. She looked at me like, yeah, like, of course. I'm like, here, like, why would you ask me that? She projected an energy as if she felt like I was like saying or insinuating that she didn't belong. Totally delusional. Okay. So, anyways, I carry on with the team meeting. It's a great team meeting. I'm being who I am. Next day, energy still feels awkward. Like, I don't know, a weirdness there. But I told myself, I said, okay, spirit, I'm not going to engage with this energy. I pick it up, I sense it, but I know it's not mine. And so I had just made that decision that Whatever problem she has, she can keep it to herself. And if her problem oversteps boundaries that I have, it'll be addressed. Really that simple, really cut and dry. This woman doesn't come back to work for a week. I genuinely believed that, I don't know, maybe she just changed her schedule. Maybe she's only going to be working on the days that I'm not working, right? Because I didn't see her for like a week and a half. And not even from the thought of, or the perspective that she quit or anything like that. I just was not running into her. So when I finally run into her, y'all, why her energy is totally different. Here's how I know. So the day she comes back, or the day that I finally meet up with her, I had to give her information or give her a directive to really support our success and support what she wanted to do. So she's standing talking to some other colleagues, and I had to come to her and say, hey, so-and-so, I need you to step into the office and write your bio, and give us a picture so that you can start having your private lessons publicized. And she was cheerful about it. Okay, yeah, I'll go do that now. And then she came back and she said, should I send it to you or should I send it to Lisa? Okay, yeah, blah, 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 blah. So her energy was more cheerful to do what I needed to be done. Another experience happened recently where I had too many coaches there for the amount of kids that we had. And so I just went around openly to the coaches and say, hey, does anybody want to go home? Honey, she was cheerful. I'll go. So I tell you that to say, this is, and literally ever since then, the energy has been very light, very loving. The reason being is because I didn't say to myself, oh, she want to be throwing the shade, she want to be throwing energy. I can give it back. I didn't change my behavior. I didn't choose to match her energy. I chose that her energy was not mine. I can recognize it, I can see it, I can sense it, but I don't have to conform to it. I don't have to shift who I know, what I am and what I bring. That's the goddess Mayat. So it's funny because things be happening where I can recognize hate. Okay? I can recognize hate. And it's just like, I see you. I see you, but I know I don't have the problem. Moving like that grants you gifts. Moving like that grants you fortune. Moving like that grants you a covering from this law of polarity. This is what they mean when they say certain laws can be transcended. This is what they mean. The one law that they say cannot be phased out or cannot be manipulated is the all is mind, the universe is mental. Period. There is no balancing that out, but you do utilize that through the law of polarity, through transcending the law of polarity, through recognizing correspondence. You use the mind is all, the universe is mental to transcend all of the other laws. And this is also why Dream and I work so well together. Me being the Mayat, him being the Tahuti. Tahuti is called the 7 laws of Tahuti, right? Or the Kabbalion. I'm just able to speak to these concepts in a very mundane, physical, practical way. Maya can take the spiritual concepts of Tahuti and say, this is it in its physical form, because that is the scales. That is the poles. That is the both sides, spirit and physical, spirit and flesh. Okay. Put a check in the chat if y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. I'm feeling like It can be a little bit heavy. So let me see. Yeah, I know it's getting a little. Are we going there? Y'all let me know, are we going there? Y'all, matter of fact, let me pause and say, does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions about what is being discussed right now? I want to make sure that we're getting clarity, even though I know I give example after example after example. Okay. And do y'all want to know something so funny? Is that this is how I am in real life. So crazy. Like not so crazy, Spirit. So amazing. In real life, even when I'm working, and coaching coaches and things and coaching the girls on their volleyball, I'm like, I want y'all to really get it. If I talk to you and I give you something and you don't get it, like, what's the point? What's the point? Then it's just words. Like I want you to get it so that you can apply it. I love what Nessa just said. Hey fam, listening in as I mop the floors. Girl, you are in the frequency. You are in the frequency. And so I gotta go there. I gotta go there with Nessa. Thank you for putting that, because I tell you, the energy of it all really says, if you desire to have more, you have to take care of what you have. If you desire to have more, you have to take care of what you have. It's the energy of ownership, mastership. That's probably not even a word. So, but mastering. It's the energy of who is the puppeteer and who is the puppet. What's controlling you? Because if we know we got goals, we got dreams, we got aspirations, we got things that we want, we know that Spirit has given us a vision. Why wouldn't we use what we have to make that vision come into fruition? It's just a lack of care. It's just a lack of mindfulness. It's not something that we do on purpose. So when we take care of what we have, this is us saying, I love, I honor, I appreciate this sacred thing that I've been gifted. And because I've loved it and honored it and respected it so much, now I can have the next level. Mayat. All of this boils back down to Mayat. How you say you want more abundance, right? You want more money, but you spend frivolously. That don't kind of add up. It just be like that. So you got to say, if I want more of this, I have to honor this, and I have to be intentional with this. And so y'all know that was one of the things that Dream and I did. That's a part of our Mayat. That's a part of our manifestation. I told y'all this was about a month ago, maybe even a month and a half, where I told y'all Dream and I are not eating out anymore. We're done. In the video, I told y'all Dream spent an hour or two. Let me know if y'all remember this story. I said it like last time I was live. It took an hour or two for Dream to pick up some food and bring it home. Ridiculous. My baby was stuck in traffic and he don't even do traffic. And funny enough, he didn't even sit in traffic, right? Because he's already made up in his mind that he doesn't do traffic. So he didn't even sit in traffic. What really took the longest was getting the food from the people. So that was an experience where I was like, I don't like that. We got things to do. And so if we spend in 2 hours just to get some food, we out of order. It's a lack of balance. Then I told y'all I found a piece of metal in my food from a place that we were going to 2 times, 3 times a week. This was our spot. They were getting money. They were at minimum 100, 150 a week from them. So when the metal showed up in my food, I was like, baby, we tripping. Spirit is showing us we eating out too much. And if we would stop eating out, we'll drop the pounds that we want to drop. We'll keep more money in our account. We can go out and have more luxurious date nights. So guess what? On Saturday, Dream and I going out beautifully, sexily. We actually already got like 3 dates already lined up. And this wasn't necessarily the goal per se for him and I to be able to go out consistently to do what we love. I mean, because we parents, right? But since 2025 started, we've been going out twice a month. A lot of married couples can't say that. But we've been disciplining ourselves to do that. And so when we set the intention and we said, God, we want to focus more on our marriage and our relationship and our love. Because we know and understand that the more, oh my God, what is the ultimate Mayat? But the balance of masculine and feminine. The ultimate Mayat made manifest is the balance of masculine and feminine. There is no greater balancing act than that. This is why we create life. This is why we got 4 babies that are loved and cherished. There is no better manifestation of that spirit. And so we know and understand as we focus our energy and attention on that, as we are in service to each other. I make my baby breakfast almost every day. Almost every day, I'm making food for him so happily. And I want it to be good. And I want it to fill him up. And I want it to be whatever his taste buds desire. And that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm like, I want to feed you. Do we understand? And on the other side, he's like, I want to take care of you. Okay. What do you need? What do you want? Baby, get that. Go do that. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. But that's because we've just decided that us having Mayat, us having balance, us focusing our energy and attention on us is what creates the most fruitfulness in our reality. So it's such a beautiful dance. It's such a beautiful, beautiful dance. And I want y'all to understand that you do this dance within your own inner reality as well. Okay? Shoot. Best believe I am in my own inner alchemy. Dream is in his own inner alchemy. Y'all want to know one of my inner alchemies that just happened? That I've been busting my ass on, succeeding at, thriving at, and it has been so fruitful. Being on time. Being on time to places. And then when I'm going to go coach, I'm getting there 15, 20 minutes early. Getting things done. Showing up consistently. Been on it since I did the spring readings, which I don't even know when did I do those readings? February maybe? March? Those readings were fire. Shout out to everybody that got them a reading. Super fire. And I want to tell y'all, like, those readings were really your code. I am a living witness of when you embody the code and you stick to it, you will see the fruits of your labor. You will see the fruits of your labor. I told Butterfly Talks, who is on here right now, I said, I promise you, me making the decision to be on time to wherever I got to go and whatever I got to do is going to yield great rewards. It has to. And so, yes, that meant I had to sacrifice other things. I had to sacrifice because there's a point in time in our day where I really relax, might watch Pop the Balloon, You know what I mean? I chill out, sit back, whatever. There's a time in the day where I have that relaxation before I go coach volleyball. I'm not cooking for the kids, or I'm not running, chasing the kids around. I got Kimmy and Kai settled, and I'm chilling. I'm watching my TV. That time has had to be cut short because I'm starting to cook dinner literally 2:30, 3 o'clock, to make sure that I give myself time to finish my food, okay? To finish cooking food for them. Don't want Dream to have to stop nothing. Make their plates, make my own plate to take with me to go coach, okay? And leave the house in a decent standing so when I come back, I'm not looking like, what the hell is this chaos? So I've had to start cooking dinner for my family at 2:30, 3 o'clock. That sounds crazy to my ego, but to my spirit and to the manifestation of being on time, that's what has to happen. Even though I may have just cooked at 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Your girl has been so disciplined in this shit of not ordering food out and not being late that even the night before my tournaments, I prepare homemade pancakes, homemade French toast, homemade waffles, or I make sure that they got some biscuits to put in the oven so Dream can just make them some eggs and they can have a good breakfast. So Dream don't got to order from some breakfast spot where he gonna spend $100 on breakfast for them kids. Then they gonna be hungry 2-3 hours later. He gonna end up buying something else because I'm at the tournament. I'm not there to cook for them, right? Even though Dream could whip up some eggs, but I don't want him to even have to think about the extra stress of feeding those kids. I want him to say, put it in the microwave, go make you a bowl of cereal, whatever. So your girl will be up at 9 o'clock at night flipping pancakes, putting them in the refrigerator. So that when I leave the house, 6:30 in the morning, 6:45 in the morning, I know that they're good. That's discipline. There is no other option. There is no other choice. So it's Mayat because I had to take something away. See, here's how life be. We be like this sometimes, right? And Spirit is like, you got to subtract from here to get more here, right? This is where you want to be. Because from this spot, you are the middle point. No matter what shows up in your life, something may break in the house. Okay, thank you, Spirit. We'll get it fixed. We're going to figure it out. Somebody may have a bad attitude at the job. Okay, Spirit, I'm going to stay in my zone. I'm going to stay whoever. They'll learn whatever they need to learn, whatever. That's my app. And listen, I have so much stuff to give y'all, but I'm going to stop right here because I can't go too deep. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm a pause right here. But I will say this one thing. Did y'all hear about how the perfect Mayat, right? The perfect Mayat, right? Y'all heard on TikTok, right? I haven't seen all the TikTok videos. I've just seen little clips of it. But on TikTok, supposedly, there's this thing going on where China is coming out and they're talking about how, let's say an Hermes Birkin bag is $38,000 for an American, but in China, they making it for $1,000. Y'all seen that? Have y'all seen that? Y'all let me know in the comments. That is real. That is real. And it's the ultimate version of Mayat because what China is saying is that, you trying to charge 245% tariffs on us when you already taxing your own damn people. You taxing your own damn people on shit that I create. You're going to add it. The tariff is in the damn price point. You already doing too much. That was so good, man. Me and my friends, we were just having a conversation the other day, texting, because my friend had my friend had not called it out. My friend had sent us real shit. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm going to show y'all this conversation and show y'all how Mayat is such a real and prevalent thing right now. How the spirit of balance and wholeness is just happening so beautifully right now. I'm going to show y'all this text message because I just want y'all to see how real this is. Literally, this just happened. Where is it? It was such a good conversation my friends and I were having. All right, check this shit. My friend sent this in our group text. It's a Louis Vuitton fan purse, right? And y'all know what's been happening. Where them fans at, right? Louis Vuitton fan purse, $3,950. And you see this is in the text messages for my group. Me and my homegirls. This is in our text message. That happened. When did that happen? It's so crazy. When was that? I want to say this happened last week, beginning of the week. Last Wednesday, April 9th, we had that conversation. We had it early in the morning. Me and my girls just talking about designer shit. And they showed the little where them fans at. Y'all been seeing that? They showed that, right? And so my first thought is, okay, Louis V putting that out there. Actually, they put it out when Beyonce was doing Cowboy Carter. That's when it first dropped. And then there's this resurgence of it now that we got the pop, pop, pop boots on the ground challenge, right? My first thought when I saw that was like capitalism at its best. How they take your shit and sell your shit right back to you. Crazy. So we were just talking about, designer things, what things designer we like, what's out, how do we approach our kids with how we dress them. I'm like, shit, my kids be in what I like. I may go to Marshall's, Old Navy, it may be Carter's, it may be the Gap, it could be Target. Hell, my kid will even wear a Walmart shirt. If it's cute, I'm gonna throw it on them. Okay, if it's cute, I'm gonna throw it on them. But I had one friend that was like, her kids only wear things like Polo or Gap or things like that, even if it's a play date. They could be about to go outside. She said she putting them kids on something that came from Macy's or something like that. Okay. And so when she said that, she said she sent the long group message. She was like, I don't know if I have a problem with that, because she was like, I won't buy myself designer things, right? Like she said her kids could not wear Ralph Lauren association. She can't wear the association, okay? Her babies can't wear the association. I feel her, right? But we were having this conversation and she was just like, something switched in her brain when she got a little bit older to where it's like she feel like she has to have that thing. And so in her situation, she was explaining how her grandmother and her great-grandmother were seamstress. They sewed, right? They know fabric. And so she was like, she was kind of raised in a household where they were like, if it's not good fabric, you shouldn't be wearing it, right? But then her grandma came for her a little while ago and was like, because she had bought the kids Easter outfits. She said she bought them a fancy Easter outfit. For two boys, she said she spent about $150 on them an Easter outfit. Crazy. Shirt was $60. And she said her grandma said, why you buy them expensive clothes just for them to wear this on this one night, on this one Easter day, and grow out of it next week, 2 weeks? So we were just having that conversation. And my perspective when it comes to luxury things is that, first of all, do what you can afford. If you're buying luxury and you cannot afford it comfortably, meaning all your bills are taken care of, you're not going to be looking for it. Okay. If you're doing it because you want to keep up with the Joneses and you want to look like you got something, probably shouldn't be doing it. because you got other work to do. Okay. If you're doing it because you feel like it gives you status, it makes you look like you are somebody, you probably got work to do. But we do know and understand that that is what luxury brands have done. It's about the idea. It's about the thought process that somebody else can't afford this. And if I can afford this, I am a part of a specific group of people. We're not the same. They not like us type shit. So my friends and I were just talking about and having that, and that the things that I just shared with y'all is the things that I just said to them. Like, if you feel like you are not that girl because of what you have on, you have a bigger problem. If in your mind you telling yourself you shitting on hoes all the time. Now I get it. We need balance. We need balance. Like Jay-Z said, sometimes you need your ego. Got to remind these fools. Best believe when D-Ray goes out, D-Ray is going to look nice. Effort. Okay? I am not the type of woman that is saying, I'm not putting on no makeup. I'm not doing no hair. I don't care about what clothes I wear. Bullshit. When I step, I'm stepping as the baddest in the room. Because I like that. But if y'all look at me right now, I don't have on no makeup right now. I got on some lipstick, some mascara, and some brushed brows. So I can do that too. 100%. But when I'm about to step, I'm a step. And I'm not stepping because I'm thinking about another woman either. I'm stepping because that's what I like to do. I like to look good. Fine. Chocolate, Godiva, goddess. Do we understand? And ladies, if you're not stepping like that and your manifestations aren't coming to pass, I'm telling you, Mayat is saying, stop going out into the world with this, I'm just one way. No, you're not. You are a multifaceted being. A lot of times women aren't putting care, affection, love into their aesthetic because they feel like they're going to get let down. They feel like, you know what? Why would I put all of that effort into looking good? Nobody's going to acknowledge me. A man is not going to come up to me and talk to me. My girlfriends are not going to compliment me. First of all, I've been there. I've been there in my life where I needed that validation. I've been there. Abandonment, rejection, all of those things will do that to you. But at some point I had to say, why the hell am I waiting on anybody else to give me what I could give myself? Child, and that type of mentality as a woman is powerful because it means you're not easily swayed. You're not easily manipulated. Not by women, not by men. You are holding your own. That's Maya. That's the balance between masculine and feminine. When I started giving myself more affection, more love, more appreciation, it happens like clockwork. Anytime I tell myself, damn girl, you looking good, you fine, you fabulous, out of nowhere, Dream is saying it more excessively. Like, and then the beautiful thing about that, the more I feel myself, the more I feel him. The more I feel myself, the more I feel him. The more I feel myself, I look at him and I'm like, damn, what you been doing? You need to stop doing that to me. Whatever you're doing, you need to stop. Whatever it is you're doing right now, you need to stop doing, please. And of course, I don't want him to stop doing it because it's a dance. Okay? It's a dance. I know I just went on a whole tangent. I have no clue where I was going with that. Hopefully y'all picked up. Let me know if y'all picked it up. Drop any questions in the comments. This is just a little bit of the Mayat energy. I've been straight up channeling Mayat, this whole video, pick up what I'm putting down. Okay. If you can pick up what I'm putting down, you on your way. You on your way. Okay. I have a whole nother beautiful, 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 beautiful message I want to share with y'all, but I'm not going to do it today because I want to manage my time properly. But I love you. Thank y'all for journeying with me. We've been on hell of a journey. Thank you for journeying with me. I tell you, if you will do the things that I just expressed to you, you'll be coming back with a praise report. You'll be coming back. You'll be coming back and you'll be like, yeah, D-Ray, beautiful things are happening. Okay. And I look forward to hearing that from y'all. I really love and appreciate that. I really love to hear the good that is presenting itself in your life, right? It's inspirational. Okay. So I love y'all. Yes, Nessa, keep singing, girl. Thank you, Cece. You know I'm going to keep on coming because that's just me. Got to keep going. Okay. Peace and love, y'all. I'll see y'all next Thursday or maybe before there. Definitely in the book club on Saturday. Talk to y'all later. Enjoy the rest of y'all's day.